Once upon a time in a land far away lived a young man that held in a lot of sadness. He had everything he could wish for, like money and fame, but even having all that was still not enough to cheer him up, or at least to put a smile on his face. He always preferred to stay alone and went to places that was far from the city. Abandoned places is where he always found himself. Although he looked pretty normal, he always did the most random and questionable stuff, like late at night, he would stalk families that always seemed happy. People started creating rumors about him, some good, some bad, and told stories about what he did for a living, questioning if he was a friend or foe to the town. Some feared him giving him names since no one truly knew his real name, so they called him all sorts of stuff, but the name that was used the most was the Ass Reaper.
Just when everyone started thinking he was a threat to the town, some kid believed that he is actually a good person. This kid was the son of a highly respected chief of the town. No one could do anything without his permission. The chief had ways to know exactly what happened in the town and where it took place. Some people think the chief has spies working for him, and that's how he always knows what's going on. The chief always thought that this mystery man, this entity is dangerous, just because he did everything in the dark and the people of the town portrayed him in a bad light.
The only question was, is this entity known as the Ass Reaper a danger to the town? On the 28th of June 1978, the town went crazy after discovering a tragic but weird incident. A young teenage woman had a shower around midnight. Everything was fine, normal. She played music and started jamming to it.
But she immediately stopped the music after hearing weird noises coming from the outside the bathroom door. She could hear weird sentences being said like,
"I know you're in there, little girl. Why don't you open the door so that we could play a very fun game?" She started panicking and turned of the shower, grabbed the phone and started calling the police. The police heard her story and replied with, "We'll send a patrolling unit in the area which would arrive in 5 minutes," but the unknown person outside the door heard everything and said, "No reason to fear, I'm just trying to play with you," and started laughing like crazy, but later stopped and said, "Anyways, help will arrive in 5 minutes, but I'm used to ending stuff fast, so
I'll be finished with you before 5 minutes."
The woman started crying and begging the person to leave her alone, but the unknown person just laughed harder and harder. Suddenly, there was absolute silence. She stopped crying and closed her eyes, feeling relieved and relaxed, but then heard a whisper in her ear.
"Abukasifi, I'm coming for your booty."
She opened her eyes really fast and couldn't believe what she saw. Her whole ass was cut off, held in the hands of the mystery man. Blood was everywhere, yet she was too shocked to believe that she didn't even feel a thing. The mystery man told her that she wasn't worthy for a butt like that and vanished.
The police arrived just to find a young woman in shock, standing still like she was paralyzed. The officer asked what happened. After seeing that she's missing a butt and a lot of blood on the floor, she looked at the officer and said, "There was this entity, a man wearing a black cloak with a blade that he used to cut of her ass." She explained how she didn't feel a thing and that he just held in his hands and admired it like a weirdo. A pervert on a whole nother level. The officer couldn't believe the story she said and wanted to ask for more information about this sick and twisted man, but then she just collapsed and died because of the loss of blood. The officer reported everything to his captain and a case was opened to find this sick and twisted ass stealing freak and to bring him in for questioning.